last class we have learned about some component, right? What do you mean by sensor and what do you mean by actuator, right? Today we'll see different components which we use in IoT. Means IoT is not only connecting devices, it is beyond that. So we have to learn what are the different components which come together and make a IoT concept. Fine. So there are 5 major components that is there in the IoT. The first component is things or devices. Second is gateway, cloud, analytics, and user interface. Let's see one by one what are the importance of all those components. So the first is smart devices and sensors and their device connectivity. Right? So we know many IoT devices. So it is start with the sensors. Sensor node, it needs the processing power. It should have some transmission so that it will transmit the data. It should have some memory so that it will store the data. Right? So all these things should be there in an IoT devices. So the device or sensors are the component of device connectivity layer. These smart sensors are continuously collecting data from the environment and transmit the information to the next layer. What do you mean by next layer? So when you learn the networking and all, so you will know that what are the different layers we have. Are you learning networking? Networking subject you have. This time? Next time you have. Okay. So in this, what is going to happen is, for any type of networking, means if we want to connect 2 devices and we want that 2 devices should communicate with each other, so it will follow some protocols. It will follow some rules and regulations. So in that particular context, we have some layers. So all the protocols, means we have different type of protocols, and all the protocol is divided into some layers. So in one layer we have set of protocol, another layer we have set of protocol. So previously in the data connectivity and all, we have ISO model, interconnection, open source model, right? So this ISO model given us the facility of 7 layers. How many layers? 7 layers. Now this layer start with the physical layer. Which layer? Physical layer. Now what is happening in the physical layer is, physical layer used for the data transmission, actual data transmission. Means from one system, how my data is transmitting to another system. So what are the means of, or what are the media by which my data will be transmitting from one device to another device? So I have 0 and 1 data. I cannot send in 0 and 1. So I can send it either with the help of magnetic signals, RF signals, right? Or if I have the optical cable, I can send it with the optical signals or electrical signals. Are you getting it? So these are the physical layer. They are talking about physical layer in which we convert our digital data to analog data and we transmit with the analog means. Are you getting it? So this is the physical layer, and this particular devices and all, because it is gathering the data and it is used to transmit the data. So what they are doing is, what they are saying is, it is in that particular layer, which is a physical layer, which is the bottom layer of any communication medium. So nowadays we do not use 7 layers. Do you know what are the 7 layers? So we have physical layer. I will start with the bottom. We have physical layer, then we have data link layer, then we have network layer, transport layer, presentation, session, and application. So these are the different layers and each and every layer should have some protocols that has to follow. Now, that particular in the internet era, or when we want to connect two devices nowadays, so we use 5-layer protocol, that is called TCP/IP layer protocols. That open standard protocol was the reference model. By there we have taken the references and we made a 5-layer TCP/IP protocol which we use nowadays for the communication. And in that we have how many layers? Physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, and application layer. So the session and presentation layer has been come up with the application layer, one application. Okay, so that actually system we follow nowadays. Okay, and every layer has different work to do. Yes.
So what is the reason for merging the presentation and session with application?
So what is happening is all these layers, means presentation, session, and application layer, are having the work which is similar. So that's why they merged and they make 5-layer protocols. Okay, so almost a similar type of work they have. So in the application layer, they generate the data in 0 and 1 form, or they will do encryption, decryption. All these things will be done in application layer. Then there is a presentation layer presenting that particular data in some form. And then there is a session layer. Session layer is responsible to make the sessions between two systems. Like we have 3-way handshaking. Let's say I want to send the data to him. So what I'll do is I'll make a request to him. Request signal, REC signal. And then he will reply back to me. And then I'll send the acknowledgement. This is a 3-way handshaking. By that I can know that yes, he is ready to take my data. So this is a process that was taken by the session layer. So all these 3 layers has been merged together and called application layer. Transport layer, they have a different phenomena. Transport layer is responsible for transmitting one data to one system to another system. See, data cannot be transmitted at once. It has to divide it into some fragments. Okay, these fragments are sometimes called packets. So these packet has to be transmitted, and after transmitting the packets, there is a responsibility of the transmission layer to collaborate all those packets. Let's say my data is divided into 10 packets. I am sending with some let's say some routing protocol by which my data is routing together and it is reaching to one system to another system. See, systems are not connecting one to one. Are you getting it? There are some routers by which the data will flow and it will go. So let's say I have transmitted the data serially, 1, 2, 3, 4, in that way I am sending it. But how it is reaching to the receiver? It might be reaching with 1 and then 5 and then 2 and then 7. So it is the responsibility of the transport layer to make it in a serial. This is one responsibility. There are so many other responsibility of the transport layer. And then network layer. Network layer is responsible for routing and all. How my data will transmit from one node to another node, that is the responsibility of network layer. So here the network layer comes into the picture, which has the responsibility of routing. That how efficiently we are routing the data from one node to another node. And then there is a data link layer. Data link layer is responsible for one-to-one communication. One-to-one means, like transport layer is for end-to-end communication, it is for one-to-one. One-to-one means which is my next node. So next node may be a router, may be a system, maybe anything. So I am sending the data to my next node, and next node is sending the data to next node, and next node is sending the data to next node. So for one-to-one communication, data link layer is responsible. And in this particular layer, there is a protocol which is responsible, that is called MAC protocol, Media Access Control Protocol, by which I will transmit the data, how my media has been controlled. that is responsible of media access control. See, for the end-to-end delivery, I cannot use the same media all the time. Means, if you understand in that way, let's say I want to communicate from one node which is there in Bhubaneswar and one node which is there in some other place of country. Let's say in Delhi, I want to communicate. Do you think that only one media will do that? There are many media that will come. Like I am sending the data wirelessly from my mobile to what? To access point. What type of communication it is? It is wireless communication. So here RF will come into the picture. Radio frequency, magnetic way I am sending the data. So in that way it is reaching to that. Now the access point is sending the data optically to the server, and server is again connected, maybe wirelessly, maybe wired. It is connected with the service provider, and then service provider will, so ultimately it will go to the internet, and it will reach to the other end. So other end might be connected wired or wireless. Are you getting it what I am saying? So it is happening like this. So for one-to-one delivery, MAC protocol is responsible. Media access control protocol. And then we have last physical layer. So in a physical layer, whatever data will be generated in the application layer will be converted into different form, given different header and trailer to the data, make a payload and given to the physical layer. And the physical layer will convert those 0s and 1 into proper way of transmission. So it is the responsibility of physical layer. So physical layer generally will have A to D or D to A converter. So A to D means analog to digital if it is taking the physical phenomena like sensors. I told you A to D converter will be there. So analog to digital conversion will be there. But if I am doing reverse way of data transmission from the device, I am sending the data. So again it has to convert digital to analog. Getting? So all these things is there. So these devices and the connectivity we have to use in IoT, and we should know what are the different way of protocols are there by which we can connect two devices. There are many protocols. Before that, we should know what are the devices that has to be connected. So we have different devices, right? We have different type of sensors that has to be connected. I told you sensor is not enough to do all these things. We should have sensor node. So sensor is different, sensor node is different. Sensor with all the processing power is called sensor node. Okay? So in the sensor point of view, we have different type of sensors like temperature, pressure, humidity, light intensity, moisture, proximity, and RFID tags. All are different type of sensors. Latest technology in the semiconductor technology is capable of producing micro smart sensor for various applications. Yes, we have very small sensors nowadays. The size of those sensor node get reduced. So I can wear sensor, I can have sensor anywhere in my body right now, and it is rarely visible. So they are making the system or the enhancement of the technology in such a way so that we can have in a small sensor node we have different type of sensors together. So that is the advancement of technology.